I made $100,000 in profit working 5 hours a week in my painting business, and in this video, I'm gonna show you how to do it in 30 hours a week or less. At the very end, I'll show you how I did it in 5 hours a week. We're gonna look at 5 things. First, we're gonna look at simplifying the business. What do the numbers need to look like for you to make $10,000 per month in profit? It's simpler and easier than you think. Then we're gonna look at marketing. How are you gonna attract the potential customers you need to ultimately hit that goal? We're gonna look at sales, the most important things you need to put in place in the sales process to win customers. We're gonna look at the use of subcontractors and how to actually deliver on your promises to customers and do a great job, but keep things simple. And then finally, we're gonna look at the schedule itself. What would you actually be doing throughout the week, and how would you be allocating your time to make $10,000 in profit per month while working 30 hours a week or less? By the way, my name is Eric Barson. I'm the founder of Painting Business Pro, where I have worked with thousands of painting contractors over the last 10 years to start and build companies. I also run a portfolio of painting companies myself. We do over $25 million a year and growing quickly. All right, let's jump into the video. All right, so first let's just look at the numbers. Like, what does it actually take to make $10,000 a month? To make $10,000 a month, we wanna make $2,500 in profit per week. So how do we do that? You need to do 6 estimates. We need to book 2 jobs for $8,000 in total sales. You're gonna spend $4,500 on labor and materials to get those jobs produced. And we're gonna spend $1,000 a week on marketing. That leaves you with $2,500 in profit per week. And you say, well, what about the other costs of my business, Eric? And I say, well, at this stage, you shouldn't really have any other costs in your business. At this stage, you should really only have insurance, and anything else is really a want and not a need at this stage of business. As we start to grow the business, we can do more estimates, book more jobs, we can improve the profit margin, and we can start investing in overhead if we want to, like software, technology, and other things. So now let's go through marketing, sales, and production, how we're actually gonna fulfill those numbers to make the $2,500 a week in profit. All right, so first we gotta talk about marketing. Marketing is how we're gonna get the 6 estimates a week, and we've allocated $1,000 a week to spend on marketing to get those 6 estimates. I'm gonna go through 3 to 4 really simple ways to get to 6 estimates a week. And I will tell you right now, there's nothing sexy about them because you don't need to be sexy to get to 6 estimates a week. It's really, really easy, and there are tried and true, simple things to get that job done. So the first one we'll list is using lawn signs and flyers. You can literally just drop flyers all through neighborhoods. Go and drop 500 flyers per week, and then drop lawn signs. You can put lawn signs at the entrances to neighborhoods, at busy intersections, commercial locations, on the sides of streets, to literally get your name out there. You could do $1 million a year using just lawn signs and flyers if you just did enough of them. All right, the next up is door to door. That's what I did for 6 years, 10 years. There was a point in our company where we actually generated 40 estimates every single week from just door-to-door marketing. We had college students that we were paying really, really well to go through neighborhoods and just offer free estimates. So we would knock on doors, go knock, knock, knock. Hey, how's it going? I'm Eric, I'm with Foothills Painting. I noticed you had some peeling paint up here, so I just wanna put you down for a free estimate. And that's all we did. And we would just do enough of that every week that we would generate 40 estimates every single week from knocking on doors. So anyone who says, I can't grow my business, I can't get estimates, I can't get leads, my answer to you is, yes, you can. You just aren't going and doing the work that's required to actually get it. Because the truth is that, like, you can go knock on doors and you can get leads. And if you're struggling with marketing, that means you don't have many estimates, which means you're not that busy, which means you have time. And if you have time, you can go and knock on doors, and it doesn't cost you anything. And we could take that $1,000 marketing budget per week and take it all the way to 0. So that's how we grew our business to millions a year, is from just door-to-door marketing. Super, super simple. Next up is gonna be Facebook ads. Facebook ads absolutely works, but with Facebook ads, you've gotta invest money, just like you do with lawn signs and flyers, but you probably have to invest more money with Facebook ads than you did with lawn signs and flyers. And there's a little bit of a learning curve. There's more technical skill. It's a little more challenging, but it absolutely works. The fourth one is the most obvious one probably for people, which is just referrals. Once you do one job, make sure you're talking to the neighbors, make sure you're putting lawn signs up and asking for referrals, getting reviews. And those are gonna be the 3 to 4 easiest ways to get business. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff we can start to add into the business once you get the ball rolling, like website and SEO. There's other platforms, other lead services, other marketing strategies you can do, but you don't need to, and that's one of the biggest mistakes people make, is they try to do way too many things rather than just doing a few things really, really well. All right, so now we wanna talk about sales. I have an entire video on our YouTube channel where you can go and watch a much more detailed breakdown of our sales process. We have done over $1 billion in sales between me, my companies, and all the people I've coached using this sales process. It is really simple, it's really professional, and it will put you ahead of most of the competition out there. There are 5 main pieces to the sales process that are really critical to sales. The first one is a really strong initial phone call. The initial phone call is the first phone call to a customer where you're actually setting the appointment. What a lot of painting contractors out there do is it's a really simple call where I'm literally just scheduling a time to meet with you. But that's not how you separate yourself from everybody else. How you separate yourself is by asking a lot of questions, getting to know the customer, getting to know their needs and wants, and then explaining to them what your estimate process looks like that includes the customer as a part of that process. We need them to invest their time to walk around the house with us, to look at the job with us, to customize that paint job that they want with us. We need their engagement in the sales process for us to win the job. And if we can set that expectation on the initial phone call, we're gonna be better off than our competitors who didn't set that expectation on the phone call. And then finally, we need to give people some reasons to buy and some reasons to take our estimate seriously, which we can do on that initial phone call, which increases the likelihood that they actually buy at the estimate. The second thing that we want to do is the Q&A. All right, so a lot of people skip this too. A lot of painting contractors show up and they just ask a couple quick questions and then they do their stock estimate. What we want to do is do a lot of questions to find out what our customers need, what they want, what they're concerned about, what they're worried about, how long they want their paint job to last. Do they want the cheapest job they can get? Do they want a bulletproof paint job or somewhere in between? Are they planning on moving in a couple years, or do they want to die in this house? All of that changes the recommendations that I will make in the rest of the estimate process. So taking our time to ask questions is critical. Third part of the sales process that you need to nail is the walk around. The walk around is where I'm walking around the project with the customer and I am getting incredibly detailed. I'm getting detailed with some of the problems on the house, the recommendations I have, different substrates. Do you want that painted? Do you want this painted? Do you want this to be one color or two colors? Do you want us to do 2 coats here? I'd recommend it. Here's some prep work. Here's what I'd recommend. Do you want us to do that? The walk around is where we're really walking through in a very detailed manner their project and making recommendations to help them get exactly the job they want and need based on what they told us in the Q&A at the earlier part of the estimate. Number 4, we need something called pre-closes or trial closes. These are just questions that we ask throughout the estimate that get people in a buying state of mind. And so they're not just like getting an estimate casually and deciding later. We want them deciding now, and we need to implement pre-closes and trial closes to do that. And then finally, number 5 is just the close itself, how we present the contract, how we ask for the job, and then how we answer questions when they have questions after we have presented it, and how we respond when they have objections. For example, when people say, we're gonna get other estimates, you're our first estimate, we have to think about it, that price is more than I was expecting, etc. We need to have a script for how we deal with those objections in the close. Again, I've got a much more detailed video you can go watch on sales because the purpose of this video is not sales, but those 5 things alone, if you can just get those 5 down, you're gonna be ahead above your competition, and that's how you will land more jobs and land them at profitable prices. So next up, we're gonna look at subcontractors, and there's obviously 2 ways that we can actually paint a house. I guess there's 3. 1, you could do it yourself. I wouldn't recommend it. It's gonna be really hard to make, over $100,000 a year working part-time if you're the one doing the painting, but you could paint some things yourself. The second option is the use of employees. I don't recommend it. It complicates your business. It forces you to have to invest in equipment. It takes a lot more time to hire and train. You have to hire employees one at a time instead of bringing on a subcontractor that might have 3 guys. You've got to deal with vehicles, equipment, training, time off, and you have a lot of pressure to make sure your schedule is like perfectly tight, getting them all the hours they need. So it's just a lot more effort and a lot more complexity. You can find a subcontractor who already owns their own painting business, owns their own equipment, has their own guys. They're so totally committed to their craft, they're committed to the trade, they're committed to their business. And there's some amazing subcontractors out there who do a phenomenal job, just like there's some amazing employees out there who do a phenomenal job. There's some terrible subcontractors out there that do a terrible job, just like there's employees out there that do a terrible job. Using subcontractors significantly simplifies the business. It allows you to pay a set rate on the project, so it guarantees your profit margins. You don't have to invest in equipment, and the subcontractor doesn't get paid until you get paid, and you don't get paid unless your customer is happy. And so there's aligned incentives to make sure, let's make this customer happy as quickly as we can and do a great job so that we get paid, so that you get paid. Aligns incentives and really simplifies the process. Now the key here is, how do you find good help? That's the biggest issue that everybody has. And the key to finding good help is 2 things. Number 1, we need to first have a good offer. Great people want a great offer. There are 5 main things that make a great offer. You need to pay them well, pay them on time, treat them with respect, be organized, and keep them busy. If you can do those 5 things, you're a contractor that subcontractors want to work for. The second thing is, once you have a good offer, if you don't tell anybody about that offer, you don't get any potential people to come work for you. So then you need to actually do the work to recruit good help. There's 3 main ways that you can do it. Number 1, you can literally just talk to subcontractors or painters at the paint store. If you go to the paint store, there's guys picking up paint every single morning. Talk to them. Ask them if they're subcontracting and if they're looking for anyone else to work for. If they're a good subcontractor, they're always looking because they're always looking for somebody better to work for. The other thing you can do is post on Facebook Marketplace. I've had a ton of people have a ton of success finding great crews through Facebook Marketplace. And then the third one, which is what our bread and butter has been for a decade or more, is literally just Craigslist. We post in the general labor section on Craigslist, we post in the skilled trade section on Craigslist, and then we do multiple posts per day until we find the crews we need. If you want to find great people, you got to cast a wide net. You got to talk to a lot of different people to find the best ones. And so the final thing here is just doing a volume approach. You got to post a lot of ads, whether it's Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. You got to talk to a lot of painters, talk to unmarked white vans that are painting. Just talk to people, and over time you find some really good crews that can deliver an amazing job for you. You only need, in our example, we said we're doing $8,000 in sales per week. That's about 3 painters. All right, so that's usually one subcontractor who has 2 helpers that work with them. So it's a 3-man crew is all you need to do $8,000 per week. So it's pretty simple. There's no shortage of painters out there. There's plenty of them, and there's plenty of good ones. And you only need 3 guys to do $8,000 per week. All right, finally, let's look at the schedule. So what does this schedule actually look like when we put it all together? So you're gonna spend 1 hour per week just doing your numbers, right? You should be updating your statistics every week. How many leads did we get? Estimates did we do? How many jobs did I book? You know, how profitable were the jobs we produced? Updating your numbers so you know your numbers every single week and you make a plan for the week. You should spend some time on that every week. Let's assume 1 hour. It shouldn't take you that long, but let's just assume 1 hour. 5 hours should be dedicated to marketing. That might be going door to door yourself. That might be dropping lawn signs, dropping flyers, running your Facebook ads, but you should be able to spend 5 hours a week marketing. You could also hire somebody to go door to door for you. You could hire somebody to drop flyers for you, and you could bring that number down. But let's assume 5 hours a week for marketing to get to 6 estimates a week with the marketing effort that you're putting in. Then you're gonna be doing these 6 estimates a week. So that's gonna be about 12 hours per week to do your 6 estimates per week. Then you've got 5 hours a week for project management. That's an hour per day. That means you can show up to the job site an hour every day. That's 15 minutes to drive there, 30 minutes to be there, 15 minutes to drive home. No more than an hour a day at the job site. If you have to be there more than an hour a day, it's because you didn't hire good people. And if you didn't go hire good people, you need to go hire good people. We're gonna assume that you have hired good people that don't need to be babysat, because good people don't need to be babysat. So you can drop in your job site once a day for quality control, to build rapport with your customer, to talk with your crews, and make sure you got a plan for the day. Then we're gonna give you another hour a day for calls and administrative work for another 5 hours a week. That's calling new leads, setting up estimates, checking in with the jobs that you're working on, scheduling the upcoming jobs, checking in with your crews. That's an hour a day. If we put all that time together, we've got 28 hours per week to run your business, doing 6 estimates a week, selling $8,000 a week, $4,500 in cost, $1,000 in marketing, making you $2,500 in profit per week, doing it in 28 hours. Now, finally, I'll let you know how I was able to do this in 5 hours. Is I hired Ben to do marketing and sales for me. And so he did door-to-door, or had a door-to-door team. I paid him 20% to generate his own leads and sell the jobs. I hired Paul, and I paid Paul 12% to produce those jobs. And so he worked with the subcontractors and all the customers. And I just met with Ben and Paul every week. And between Ben and Paul, we did about $650,000 in business. So $650,000 in business, about 30% went to Ben and Paul. I made about 20%, which is about $110,000. And then I had a little bit of overhead, and that's how I made $100,000 in profit working 5 hours a week.